Hello, welcome to SOVL, a turn-based strategy roguelike game with fantasy elements. Anyone who has any familiarity with Warhammer Fantasy tabletops or other tabletop wargaming, you'll be right at home. This is effectively a PC simulation for those games. If not, no worries, we'll explain the basics and you'll pick it up very quickly. As you've seen from the title and thumbnail, I'm feeling in a green state of mind, particularly Goblins. We're playing the Goblin Shaman. So to match the run, we're going to be building an army that is entirely goblin based, so all little greedy goblin guys all the time. We're playing the max difficulty, as that's where a lot of the fun of the game is contained. That's how we'll be running this. We immediately come to the most important decision we'll be making throughout the campaign. So in SOVL we get a starting unit, so our Goblin Shaman comes with a regiment of goblin shortbows, so little goblins with tiny goblin bows and arrows to supplement, and then we get an extra 2 supplementary units to aid us through our quest. We can take orc warriors, but we won't, as the big smelly brutes aren't our particular kettle in this time. We want goblins, so bolt throwers or mob, and the mob is preferable. We need some rank and file gents to take the combat for us. And then the wolf riders are an excellent choice for a bit of cavalry. All our goblins. Act 1, here's SOVL. So this is the campaign map. We'll start on the left side, slowly move our way through these stopping points with the objective of arriving at the Act 1 boss over here. We'll do that by taking our army and fighting through battles. There's his cross sword, in which we're rewarded with gold and experience for our troops. The gold is relevant as we can use it in these armories. These are effectively shops where we purchase new goblins or upgrade the ones we already have. The elite battles, these are harder battles in exchange for more gold. Random events are mercenaries for hire, tombs to plunder for magic items, beast slaying, things like that. We'll go through a couple of these throughout the campaign to show off a bit of spice and flavour. And then last but not least are the campsites. These don't generate any gold such as battles do, but in exchange you get 2 rounds of healing or potentially XP for your army. Typically you want to avoid these if you're doing well, as taking more battles for more gold allows you to buy more units, which makes the battles easier, generating more gold, so on and so forth. You can snowball. So unless you're getting your teeth absolutely kicked in, you typically want to avoid these. So as wrap up, for each and every one of these units, we can rename them so they start with their basic generated names and we can come up with ours. So Goblin Shaman, for instance, we can immediately rename you. I'm going to name you... Congratulations, you're Norman Osborn. Very goblin related. So if you throughout the campaign, if there's any goblin themed or particularly appropriate names you can think of for any of our goblin units, then by all means do let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to tack them in. Alright, for our strategy, for these initial battles, I'd strongly recommend we take as many fights as possible, as they're quite easy and you can use it to generate gold quickly. So 3 fights in a row here is ideal. Up against a vermin pack. So rats. A few armies that is smaller than us. So SOVL is entirely predicated upon the rolling of 6-sided dice. For the veterans of the game, you may wish to skip this little explanation as you're very familiar, but for anyone who is new here, this is going to be great for you. We roll a dice each, they roll a 6 as the vermin pack rolled higher, so they go first. It means after the deployment phase, they'll be able to move a unit before we can move a unit. So deployment, move your troops around in this little designated area. You can hold the shift key and rotate them if you wish. Otherwise that's fine. Our hypermobile goblin wolf riders will go on the flank to hopefully hit something over there. And we'll just leave you two over here to fight whatever on this side. We have slingers, and a rat swarm. Okay. So there's 3 keys in effect you use when playing SOVL. The X key, the C key, and the shift key. The X key, if you hold it down, reveals these blue arcs. These are our charge zones. If an enemy unit is within this blue zone at the end of the kind of combat phase, start of the next charge phase, we can declare a charge against them. Simultaneously, in the same way, the C key does the same, but for enemies, so this is their charge radius. If we don't want to be shot by the enemy, stay out of that zone. If we hold the shift keys, X and C reveal the potential ranged options of units. So shift X shows our goblin shortbows what they can see and shoot. Currently they have targets on rat swarms and that's it, because short bows are rather short range. So what we'd love to do is start shooting at these slingers, as whoever gets to shoot first has an advantage in terms of damage. So we'll activate our short bows here and move forward enough. You can hold the shift and X key as you move forward to see if you get into range. So I think we've just got into range there. Okay. There are 15 goblin short bows, means we get 15 shots. But what do we need to, how do we hurt something? How do we hit them? Well, there are two rolls. We roll to hit, and then we roll to see if we do damage. So the first roll is a roll to hit with shooting. Rolling to hit is a function of the number 7 minus the skill of the shooter. So Goblin short bows, everything you need to know about any unit in SOVL is on the bottom left cards here. So that's Norman Osborn, our character, and then the Goblin short bows themselves down here. So they have their range 20, so that gives away their range, and their power 3, but we're skill 3. So 7 minus 3 is 4, meaning we need a 4+ to hit. When I say 4+, you hear me using that terminology a bit, that 4 plus 5 plus, it means any result of a 4, 5, or 6, or basically 4 or greater, counts as a success. So we need 4 or more. If we hover the unit, however, it says 5+, or 5 or 6. That's because we're incurring the -1 to hit long range penalty. If you shoot at anything that's more than half of your maximum distance away, you incur a negative penalty, so it simulates the enemy are hard to hit because they're so far away. So 15 attacks, needing a 5 or 6 on 6-sided dice to hit them. So there's the roll. So there's our 15 dice. And of the, 14 as one of them, of course, is our Norman is tucked in there as well. So of those, 6, 6, 5 hit, everything else misses. We get 3 hits. The enemy is then given a saving throw. So to determine after you've hit a unit, you have to see whether or not you've hurt them. So that's a function of comparing the power of the attack against the defense of the target. In this particular instance, the short bows are power 3, and the defense of slingers is defense 2. As power is superior to defense, the enemy can only save themselves on a 5-up, or a 5 or 6 save them 1, 2, 3, and 4 fail. So as you imagine that if power is better than defense, they have a worse than not odds of saving themselves, only a third chance. They roll perfectly averagely, they get a 1, 4, and a 5. The little rat that rolled a 5 manages to dodge out the way. The 1 and 4 get splattered. And then our shaman would have a special ability, but it's not particularly relevant in this second, so we'll ignore it. Now these slingers are doing the same to us. They've marched forward, they've shot, they've rolled better than we did. They got 5 hits, which is the average amount on 15 dice. And then we get my save. In this instance, the slings are only power 2. They have inferior power, and I'm defense 3 due to having a hand weapon and shield. So as defense is superior to power, I get a 3-up save, or 3, 4, 5, 6 count. Again, as you imagine, if the defense is better than power, you have better than not odds of saving. I take a single wound. Fortunately, the Wolf Riders have 2 wounds each, meaning I've taken no damage. Now, before I mess around with that, I would rather come over here and throw the Goblin mob forward, as I would rather the slingers target this unit and not my short bows. So, because I had to move so close, it counted as a short range shot, so they got good accuracy. Otherwise, they rolled an obscene number of 5s and 6s, so it made little difference. But again, we're defense 3 to having shields, so we're fairly resilient against range fire. Or not, we take 4 goblins disappear. And now here, time for our ultra fast cavalry to activate. We get over here, so we can see them. There's a particular reason I positioned here. I'll explain why momentarily. End of strategic phase. There are no ongoing combat, so combat phase ends. Off to the charge phase. So let's have a look. Are any enemy units able to see us? Well, in theory, the slingers could charge us if they wanted, but the enemy will never declare charges with range dedicated units, so you can effectively ignore these, but the swarms can't reach us. For us, however, the Goblin Wolf Riders can easily reach the Ratkin Slinger, so we will charge here. Now, if you hover any given unit in SOVL, you can see there. I'll do it in a second, so we'll charge them. Charge. By hovering any. So if you hover unit, every unit in the game is arcs, so they have 4 quadrants. So they have a front arc, 2 flanks, and a rear. If you charge, the majority of your unit is within a particular arc, so we got the entirety of our Wolf Riders over that line into this quadrant here, you'll end up charging that flank. There are a number of benefits to doing so, which I'll explain why momentarily. Here, I'm going to shoot the slingers before they have an opportunity to shoot to do the most amount of damage. I could run forward for a slightly better shot, but I don't want to engage the rat swarm, so let's just do this. Less shots coming our way, and then we'll back away from the rat swarms as I don't want to fight them. Now, Norman Osborn has the ability to use Primal Fury, so target unit has +1 power and rerolls attacks rolls. That will assist our Wolf Riders in a moment. Slingers, they get 9 of 10 hits with amazing accuracy, and I roll laughably below average, so excellent rolling by the enemy and poor rolling by us there. The mob here really is just here to take damage. Okay, our first melee combat. Now, for for our attacks, it isn't simply one for each guy. Rather, we look at the unit cards on the left and right. We have 2 attacks each with Goblin Wolf Riders, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Wolf Riders, therefore 10 attacks in total. And for our hit roll, unlike shooting, which is 7 minus skill, this is skill versus skill. So it says 4 plus because skill 3 versus skill 3 is equal. When skill is equal, you need a 4, 5, or 6, which is perfectly fair. You have an exactly 50-50 chance when the 2 combatants are equally skilled. We, however, do benefit from Primal Fury, so we get to reroll. Any 1s, 2s, or 3s we roll, we're allowed to roll them again to try and convert them into successful hits. So there we get our 10 attacks rerolling, which is 6 hits, but that's actually 8 hits as we converted. And we're now power 5, so that second roll there, they rolled a bunch of 6s. They can only save on a 6+. That's because Primal Fury has increased our power. The base power of a Goblin Wolf Rider is 3. If you hover their weapon, weapons usually have some sort of effect on combat. So hand weapon shield, +1 permanent defense, so our defense 3, and then charge bonus +1 power. So we went from power 3 to power 4 because we charged due to having hand weapon shield. The spell, Primal Fury, also added 1, making us power 5. So when power is superior defense, they have a 5-up save, as we've seen before. When power is 3 or more superior to enemy defense, they only have a 6-up save, or only the roll of a 6 will help them. That power is so far above and beyond the enemy's defense, they have a minuscule odds of saving. Annoyingly, of the 8 hits we rolled, they managed to roll 4 6s, so only 4 of the rats died. Now, one of the big benefits to flanking units is that they can't fight all of their attacks, so the usual 10 they would get, as you can only fight in 2 ranks, didn't apply. Rather, only the ones touching you on the side can fight. So 3 of those slingers got to fight. They hit every single time because this is the best unit vermin pack anyone's ever seen, so they did really well. And then we have equal powered defense, so we have a 4-up save. I took 1 wound. The wounded one will die, which is a shame. Because the opponent has lost combat, they're forced to roll a break test, which with rats, given how cowardly they are, they're almost guaranteed to fail. I won't charge them for a moment, as I'd rather see how this goes. I'm going to charge the mob into the flank of the slingers. So there's a couple of things happening. I just about edged my unit into the majority of the mob being in this side. So I was just able to pull off that charge. It's slightly over there. And you think, well, they can see us, so they'd be able to countercharge. But for whatever reason, SOVL's AI isn't smart enough to charge ranged units, even if it would be advantageous to do so. So they just accept being flanked. The rat swarm's going to move over to pester us. I wonder if I can escape them. I'm going to have to escape this way. What I'd love to do is shoot them first. So we move to about 7.3 and then move this way, and we have plenty left over. So yes, we can twist towards them, fire our volley off first. Excellent accuracy, and then start killing them. They have 5 wounds each, these bases, so it'll take a little bit of time. And then saunter away. May as well also use Primal Fury on the Goblin mob. The increase of power does matter, and the rerolls do matter, so it's a good upgrade to damage. These rats have rallied, so we'll charge them again momentarily. It's worth not immediately charging them, as they may fail to rally and just leave of their own accord. Okay, only 5 guys left in the Goblin scamp, so I miss every single time, and then the reroll only gives me 1, so some terrible rolling, and the 2 of those miss. They fail a break test again. Now we send the Goblin Wolf Riders in. No further uses of Primal Fury, I'm afraid. We can't help them anymore. I can't escape in that direction, so I may have to simply go straight forward and turn around. I can't. That's a shame. I'm just an inch off of being able to do this. I'm visible to the enemy here. I can see them in the blue zone, so I'd have to go far enough forward to get away. That means I can't really see them to shoot. Yeah, I can't do it unless I moved this way and then turned off. End up hitting the wall. No, it gets worse the further I move away, so it's pointless. No, the rats are a bit too fast, so I'll just do this and then turn. That'll allow me to shoot them next turn. I can't even hit the slingers. No further uses of Primal Fury, so they're on their own. These slingers have rallied, so I'll put the Goblin mob back in there. Can't help you. Just have to hit. Well, they have a 5-up save instead of a 6+ because I'm only power 4. But that's enough to break them anyway. And they're stuck against the rock, so they just sit there. Going to charge the slingers before they can hit us. Very good. Now we can easily shoot this unit and still escape. No cause for us to ever engage the rat swarm directly. We can just shoot them into submission. These have rallied again. No surprises for guessing how that's going to conclude. We somehow did more damage than when we used the extra benefit. Okay, not that I'm complaining. Now it's just a case of slowly but surely chipping away until the enemy concede. Volley, volley, volley. Okay, the rat swarms have been defeated. Things rally yet again. Guess who's going to deal with that? Hits. 3 less slingers in the world. To speed combat, so you can hold the spacebar button to slightly expedite this. I'm fairly certain if I charge both of these now, I can do enough damage that the enemy will capitulate even without all being dead. So as the keen-eyed among you may have noticed, there's a little morale bar in the top right. That reveals how the enemy are doing in terms of whether or not they think they can win. So obviously they've been losing quite badly, so that's been depreciating. And every casualty we inflict makes it a bit lower. I think we do just a little bit of damage up here. By a little bit, I mean almost wiping the unit. They are now routing this turn, which means regardless of whether or not if there are still active combatants, the battle will end and we will prevail. Okay, battle end. We receive some rewards, a flat sum of gold, a point of experience for everyone who participated, some passive regeneration if you took a lot of damage, and then a choice, either healing or gold. Now for goblins, of course, are going to be taking a lot of damage throughout the campaign, but to fix that, they're able to heal vast numbers to where there you go, it's full again. It's almost as if nothing happened. We're perfectly fine. Goblins, I believe, they're mushroom based, as Norman there dictates. So you shoot them, they fall over, they grow mushrooms, and they get back up. I could have a few more short bows, but that's honestly fine. I'd rather take the gold. And then the wolf riders, they get 2 to 3 back each, so I think I'll wait until I lose 1 more and then take the heal, so I'll take a bit of gold. We're missing a wolf rider, but otherwise we are precisely as we were. Against our fellow goblins. We're going to convince them that we're handling this correctly and they're being foolish. Now, the bottom right, it's largely infantry, so there may be enemy short bows we have to contend with. I'll place the short bows in cover then, as that may benefit us and everyone else. Just sort of wait around and see what happens. Okay, we have an enemy Wolf Rider unit and then 2 mobs. Wolf Riders do what we thought. What I'd love to do is move over here and flank that unit, but I need to see how far these move forward to see, kind of gauge how much wiggle room I have. So what I'll do instead is I'll get this goblin mob out the way. And I'll move this unit. Now, this is a good illustration. Terrain works kind of interestingly. You can see in terrain, which is why if I hold the Shift and X key, you'll see that the little bubble there ends at the terrain because I can see into it, but not beyond it. So currently I can't draw a line of sight to this goblin mob. The solution therefore is to just move forward just enough to touch the terrain, and now I can start shelling them. Not very well. I'm going to be here a while, it seems. Well, I'm actually going to move away from it as I don't want to get stuck here and I want to kind of move around a bit. Now, that's as far as they've gotten. It might be possible to squeeze here. Let's see. Obviously, again, same principle. I can't see beyond the terrain to touch them, so I'm going to have to make contact with it. Ideally in such a way that doesn't get me caught by that unit. Like so. Okay, so here, I'm not visible to the enemy. I can clearly see past them, so I can charge this Goblin Wolf Rider in the flank, as the majority of my units here. Not the entirety, there's a tip there, but we don't need to be entirety, that's fine. There you go, we've done exactly what we wanted to do. Charge that immediately. I'm going to continue to pursue us, that's okay. We are a ranged unit, so we can simply stand here and shoot them. And we're even close enough to get a short range shot for it, so 4+ to hit. Those 4s count. Won't take too long to get through that unit. And we will use Primal Fury to augment our Wolf Rider output. Better power, better attack. The power in this case is irrelevant, but that's not an issue. Here, this unit should break, so what I'll do is I'll start dragging this mob away from the Wolf Riders. making it easier to flank them later. There you go. So we have equal skill again, so 4s to hit. There's only 4 of them this time, so only 8 attacks. Average, and then average, good. And then power 5. Going from power 4 to power 5 isn't relevant, as going from 1 higher to 2 higher than the enemy defense doesn't change the save. It's still 5 up. You need to be at least 3 higher. But the reroll of hits is still nice, so it's worth doing. We did a bunch of damage. They did nothing in return. They ran away. This goblin mob has changed priorities, which is a bit weird. I don't mind. I'm just going to move forward and shoot them. Ping, 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 ping. It's because this one has locked onto this mob. Interesting. Okay. Eventually, someone will outposition that enemy goblin mob, so we'll just move around and allow the enemy to make a mistake. Rather force them to. They have to make a decision either way, and it's going to be bad. I could charge this unit, but why? We'll just easily shoot them into submission without ever risking our life and limb in combat. They will certainly be dead next turn. Okay, they're going to stay on us. Okay, what we'll do... move around this way. Terrain also has the function of halving your movement, so if I try to go straight forward, I get stopped quite quickly. Better off going around. Can't quite reach their back yet, but we can next turn. Someone will be able to re-engage the goblin mob. Forward they inch. We did very poorly there. Actually left one alive. We'll escape, so who's fussed? There you go. They've made their choice, so we'll do this instead. I think I would have preferred this unit charge, as they're functionally identical. They just have 2 extra attacks over the Wolf Riders. But that's okay. I'm going to leave them in front. Let's see why. Oh no, I've left an enemy within the blue charge radius. We're about to be charged. What a disaster. Oh, yeah. So one of the other benefits to charging an enemy unit in either the flank or the rear is that it counts as an intercept charge, meaning all of their charges are cancelled. The unit is out-positioned and trapped in place. I could engage my goblin mob from the front, but that would allow them a bunch of extra attacks. Currently, they're going to get none. In the side, they only get the few that are contacting you. In the back, they get nothing at all, so why would you bother? They're dead. And we'll Primal Fury the Wolf Riders again. Be powerful. Be goblin-y. And we'll leave these mob here in case they do hold on and need to be broken. 4 hits is actually 7 hits. Very good. Plenty of damage. Goblins have terrible discipline. These break tests are a function of your discipline minus how much you lost by. So they did incredibly well. It's the lower you roll, the better. So if your discipline, say you took 7 wounds and they had to roll a 0 or less on 2 dice. Well, the lowest you can roll is double 1 for 2, which still wasn't enough to keep them in combat. Right, a little bit more gold and enough experience points to begin leveling troops. So the goblin mob is now leveled. These are what levels look like. You get a choice of 1 to 3 random options. The goblins or the orcs, they have some unique options. So Goblin Greed for huge amounts of extra gold whenever you press the gold button. Or Backstabbers, reroll missed attack rolls when attacking from flank or rear. That's fantastic, but just for the moment I'll take Goblin Greed. Primal Fury is somewhat applying this, so I can kind of use it as I need to, but we will definitely make use of this later on. And then the Wolf Riders have extra skill or unit size or discipline. So that's strength. Usually unit size is a meager 3, but goblins have the benefit of +6, which is quite incredible. Skill would be nice, so we can actually effectively hit things. When you combine the skill and the Primal Fury, they're quite good, but I think Primal Fury is enough damage output for now, so I'll take the strengthening numbers, make them mighty. Goblins love their unit size. Make them immediately jump to 7, and then these are helping up to 21 gold. It's just shy of a third for winning the battle, just pressing the button. Very good. Now we have enough Wolf Riders here to start playing with the unit sizes, so you can stretch all of these. With the Goblin Mob, theoretically, this would be the most effective option for damage output. So units can only fight in 2 ranks. So when you get into melee combat, only these would be able to help. So we'd have, this is 12 attacks, whereas this would be 10. So with this unit, we have 2 attacks each. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And then everyone in the back can only contribute 1 supporting attack. So it's 2 attacks for the ones in the front, and 1 extra. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Whereas if I did this, it would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's more attacks like that. The Goblin Mob, yes, we could be more efficient. I think I'll stretch it to here. Stretching too far is rather annoying, as it becomes very difficult to outposition and flank enemies. It's kind of a nuisance, so I'll give up 2 attacks and just do it like this, which is slightly more balanced. And then short bows aren't going to be participating in combat usually, so being a nice compact unit to maneuver around is more beneficial than doing this. So we'll keep you nice and squashed. Brigands, so some enemy archers. The little picture reveals somewhat, at least, of what you'll be dealing with. Archers will be somewhere, usually the left or right. I would like to charge them immediately with the Goblin Wolf Rider. So what I'll do is I'll hide behind terrain with most of my guys to see if I can avoid them. They can't see past the terrain, so I can avoid some damage here at least. There they are. Okay, they're going to immediately shoot the Wolf Riders, which is a touch annoying. They can't actually see me, but they will do once they start moving this way. I'm just going to have to let them... I'll move the Goblin Mob that way. Okay, they move that first. So what I should do, I think, is I'm going to move forward just far enough to start shooting the Swordsman. Yeah, hide defense for Swordsman, so this will take a while. And then get out the way. Ideally in such a way that gets me behind terrain. If I'm touching the terrain, they'll be able to see me, but not like this. There you go, they've angled my poor Wolf Riders. I take 1 wound. But because they moved sideways like that, they've given us the flank charge, which we won't complain about in exchange for 1 wound, like so. Doo-doo. Here we go. These swordsmen are after us. We can easily avoid them. We'll move up here. This unit could turn around and continue blasting. 4+. Very good. Think. And Primal Fury. So the lack of the extra skill point would have made it easier to hit them, but not yet. Okay, all the melee combats we've had thus far have had equal skill combatants. We'll see what happens when combatants are of non-equal skill later. 7 hits, but this is why I'm not fussed. Primal Fury gives enough consistent damage output that it's not too concerning. I do lose the injured one and take an extra wound, but that's enough to break them. Don't want those annoying archers coming back and hitting me, so let's get rid of them now. Don't need to waste Primal Fury on that. There's not a whole lot this unit's ever going to be able to do. In fact, what I could potentially do, maybe distract them with the archers and have them turn around so I can hit them in the back with the mob. It isn't really necessary. We could shoot them to death over successive turns, but might speed things up a turn, just get us through this quicker. We're going to win. It's just a question of how long it takes us. Which is not very, it would seem. I could flank them with the little unit, but why? So I'll move to there. There you go. We are majority back arc, which is perfect. Soften them up a bit more. Charge them in a moment. Even if we did no damage and simply ran around the battlefield, the enemy morale would passively decrease until they just gave up. I think once you get past 50%, the enemy will capitulate. Now, he can't shoot into active combats. They're tied in. There's too much risk of hitting our own guys. Even highly disposable troops such as goblins are too valuable and precious to risk to friendly fire, so no shooting into the backs of our own allies. And we'll move this unit to charge them if they do hold. Went the wrong way. Still equal, so 4+, rerolling, but power 5 because of the charge bonus, so Primal Fury helping us here, wipes the swordsman. Goblin mobs going up to power 5 is rather dangerous. It's usually the purview of more elite units. Norman and his short bows have now leveled as well. His Norman leveled, so characters are slightly different. Discipline, upgrading Discipline is perhaps the worst upgrade choice of all units in the game. You only use Discipline if you're losing combats and have to roll break tests, which shouldn't really be playing the game in such a way that you're losing combat. So coin counter is the flat sum of gold up here, gives you an extra 5%, which is pretty minuscule. It's, if you imagine it, we're getting about 60 something, so 5% at 60 is what? 3 gold extra. It's not really worth it. Or recruiter, when you buy a new unit, the unit immediately gets a level rather than being level 0, which is great because goblins do rather benefit from leveling quickly. And the short bows, reroll 1 to hit, which is nice. even more short bows, so I can have a massive unit with a huge amount of ranged dapper, or replenishment. Replenishment means whenever I heal, if I press the heal button, I get 50% more. Goblins, however, we've seen have amazing replenishment anyway, so it's kind of worthless. One of these two, I'll go with strength in numbers. More goblins is always great and allows us to do this. We have a massive unit now, and then these are healthy enough. 6 is a good size for cavalry, as you can't stretch the unit out further than that. So I'm going to leave them as 6 and take our greedy goblin gold. 388 is pretty good as we go into the first shop. Okay, we have a mount for the wizard if I want it, or the goblin mob. I can't. 360. Well, I could actually afford both and have no gold left over whatsoever. So I have the giant spider and that and forfeit all upgrades. If I did take upgrades, what I'd do, I could give bows to the goblin wolf riders or a whole bunch of banners, so that these are magic banners where they can make you faster or harder to shoot, or maybe some spells for Norman. The spider's very cool and all for the goblin, but Norman isn't powerful enough a character in his own right to justify sending the spider into combat and likely die. But I think I rarely do this. I think I never do. So what I will do is I'll spend all of my money on the units. So I'll get both goblin units. So a giant spider for our underlying Goblin Shaman. So wounds, gold, or skill. It's already skill 4, which isn't bad. An extra wound. I don't intend to get in combat that much, so probably not. Scout, which is nice. Yeah, we can move through terrain. I think I'll take the gold. Lots of gold. The earlier you take looter to generate more gold, the more valuable it is throughout the campaign. And 230 will take Goblin Mob as well. It also gets a unit, extra goblins or more goblin greed or backstabbers. I'm incredibly greedy, so goblin greed it is. And then 20 isn't enough to really do anything. I could buy nothing. We've just gone with mass goblin numbers, which I suppose is fitting. And now that's a particularly big spider, so Norman's atop. Viper Weaver, the goblin spider, it lets him run around and be a nuisance. Eventually I'll get some range damage spells to chuck, but for now he'll do as he is. We'll stretch the goblin mobs out so they can charge things, and then the short bows and riders as they are. Good, we can use our extra unit size momentarily in elite. We have a Forgotten Tomb. Aha, okay. Right, this is quite good for us. So the Forgotten Tomb, send guys in any number you want at the risk of losing them in exchange for gold and potentially magic items. So with elite armies, this is terrible, as there's no value in sending a more elite unit in. One is one guy. But with goblins, who are, rather readily available, we can send in enough to cap it out pretty easily. So no need to do any more than that. 24 gets us everything we want. A huge amount of gold. Yeah, and then a potion of power for our character. 226 is a huge amount. We were getting 60 from battle. So yeah, incredible in exchange for a few goblins, which changes nothing. Great. I think the cap was actually 250, so I could have sent in 1 or 2 more, but good enough, whatever. Good, now here we have a choice. Either we go this way, which gives us an elite. We go elite, random event, elite, shop, random event, or elite, and then 2 heals in the boss fight, or up here, which is 3 standard battles. Now for experience, the best option would be this, as we get 1, 2, 3. Campsites can give you XP, and if we did that, we would take it because we'd have more than enough healing. Down here, we'd get 2, and then two elites, and then some random events, and up here, we'd get 3 battles and a random event, which is 3 guaranteed XP. So XP is going to be 3 or 2. So, and then gold, elites are worth double the flat amount of gold. But every time I do one of these battles, I'll be able to take Goblin Greed with the units, which means net, I'll probably get more off of these 3. So I'm going to go up north and take the standard fights over the slightly harder ones because they net more for us overall. It's more rats, okay. We are the ultimate chaff infantry army, not you. So we'll just put the fast stuff on the flank so we can run around. This is good for the spiders. I can run through the terrain without being slowed down. And then the goblin mobs and short bows can just take up the centre. We have Ratkin Alpha, so basically rat ogres. Enemy slingers again. Some conscripts, so spear and shield infantry. Rat swarms and more slingers. That's annoying. They're going to come forward and shoot me. I have to go first. Just start moving one of these infantry around. I'm going to ignore their rat swarms for a long time. They're pretty inconsequential. The target is really the slingers. I'd like them to move forward first and shoot the goblin mob and not me. What I'll do is I'll put this unit further forward to act as a meat shield. Oh, the alphas have already reached us. That's pretty quick. Am I fast enough to flank them? Yes, I am. So I can at least get my spider over here and try and break them. I can net a unit. That's quite interesting. So I can stick them in place. You know, I've webbed them, which is, yeah, reduced enemy move speed by 4. So they were in charge range, but because their speed is reduced, that's reduced their charge arc. Your movement also has the benefit of dictating what your charge radius is. So they just shrank all the way from there to there, can no longer reach us. Come their slingers. Yeah, take a shot. Now I bet they're needing 6+ to hit because they're skill 3. They need 4+ to hit. It's long range, -1, 5+ to hit, and then we're in cover because I deployed the Wolf Riders in cover in the terrain. We benefit from a cover save, so another -1 to hit, so all the way down to only 6s. I failed every single save and managed to take 1.5 wounds anyway. Excellent work, team. Well done. I can't really get around them, which is a shame. Probably just have to fight them head on. Yeah, so be it. Come the slingers. I'm going to start shooting my goblin mob, which is fine as I can start targeting them with my short bows now. I don't particularly want to get into short range, and I couldn't anyway, so I'll just stand here and shoot them. Third of the way there already. Unfortunately, I'm going to ignore the alphas for a turn, as I can only use Primal Fury once, and I want to use it on at least one of these to help win the combat. The rats, I'm going to shoot these before they can shoot, thereby reducing their damage output for this turn. That's a good hit roll. That's a preposterously good saving throw. 6 of 8 on a 5-up. Okay, that's, yeah, sure, average. Whatever, SOVL. Now they're after the spider, which is fine because I can simply put the goblin mob. Am I fast enough to reach their back, do you think? Yes, I am. Good. We've recharged the alphas. That was a very brave unit of slingers. They've come forward a bit too far. We'll start moving the spider around to get in the way of other things. As well as, of course, Primal Fury, our unit here. We had to take a front charge, which means we're going to take some nasty hits. Okay, I don't want to fight any of these really, so I'm just going to back away. Wait for help to come in to, you know, assist us. No, 4s, but re-rolling. They get 8 hits, and then 6s. Just get rid of 6. They get all 10 of their attacks from their 2 ranks, which is a shame, because I take a fair bit of damage. And we're stuck here. We may actually lose that too many turns. We have equal skill. I will not have more power. Yeah, it's going to hurt. Really, Goblin Wolf Riders with their speed need to flank things to be effective. Okay, now I could use Primal Fury here to break them and get rid of them, or Primal Fury here to try and win. To determine which of those is the better option, I should probably do some calculating. So here we have 12 attacks, needing 4+ to hit. So half of them will get 6 hits on average. The power 3 base, and we'll go up to power 4 on the charge due to hand, weapon, and shield. So our power will be equal to their defense, so they'll get a 4-up save, so half of 6 is 3, they'll take 3 wounds. They won't get to fight back, which means they'll lose by 4, because they'll get 3 wounds plus 1 for the rear charge. Their discipline is 5, so it'll be 5 minus 4 is 1. They need to roll a 1 on 2 dice, which is impossible. So they're basically guaranteed to run away here. We don't need to help them, so what we will do is I'll use Primal Fury over there. Just before I do that, though, I would like to shoot the slingers first, but I need to know where that conscript unit is moving before I do that. If I do this first and then move away, they might catch me. Yeah, I'll do this now. I'll Primal Fury these. The power's irrelevant, but the reroll of hits might mean I win. Break them and save me from taking a whole bunch of extra damage. Yeah, and I'll rush you over to get in the way. I might be able to charge those later. Wow. Goblin Shortbows have an amazing... There's our amazing saving throw to make up for the bad previous one. Now I move this way. I feel safer doing this now as they've blocked their pathway through to some extent. Well, they would have done if I hadn't killed most of the unit. Yeah, that happens. I thought so. They're after my poor short bows. So to stop that, I'll have to do this. I'm going to flank the conscript unit with my goblin mob here. 4s, but I get to reroll. So Primal Fury gives us a bit of help. Still barely winning, but we do break them at least. Just about pulled through. Now here, do we roll averagely? 7 hits, slightly above average. 3 wounds. There you go. We got our 3 plus 1 is 4. They can't stay. I do love average rolling. Beautiful, isn't it? They're charging me. I could, in theory, just flee and ignore them, because then I'll leave these out of combat as they may rally, so I'll leave it. If I flee, I'll run off the board, but I don't have to risk taking any damage, and then they'll get out of the way. I think I'd be better charging them. I don't have a lot of strength left. Means I have to heal the goblin mob rather than taking the extra gold, but so be it. These are now after us, but what we can do, we can immediately eliminate slingers before they shoot us, and then if this combat is ongoing, I can recharge them in a second to help break it. The Alphas here have rallied. They'll be rewarded by doing the exact same thing again, and they've rallied, so we'll just throw the into these. These are still active, which is annoying. Can't quite reach them this turn. No Primal Fury, but they don't need it when the enemy rolls terribly, so the Goblins just hopelessly outclassed the silly conscripts there. Well done. Charges in the middle. Clean up the flanks and then deal with this. So I think what's going to happen is they're only defense 1. Yeah, I think I'd rather the short bows just shoot the big unit over and over again. Excellent damage for the purposes of a morale depletion. They do rally, but that just means they get shot again next turn. I choose to ignore the annoying rat swarms and just do this. And then here, maybe I can draw the rat swarm's attention towards me. Very meager damage output, but with rat discipline being what it is, if you give them a chance, they usually run away. Oh, good, an average roll. They rolled slightly above average this turn, which means they could roll a double 1 to stay. No. As I could charge them, but why do that when I could just shoot them again? Someone will be able to flank this unit and stop them. And if not, I could simply run away anyway. You charge whoever you feel like charging. This unit, fine. Get out of the way and do the same thing again. Recharge them here. I'd like to net these rat swarms. So this is their current range, and then it shrinks to that because I've slowed them down. They've been netted. There's not really anything else for these other units to do. To tear those apart. Start shooting at rat swarms. Good volley. There 7 of 15 wounds. We're almost halfway there. I net them again, and now their range is so short they can't charge me. So I'll just stand here. I can't quite reach these to help if it's ongoing combat. Maybe next turn I'll get there. Again, not that I expect much with their morale being what it is. And the enemy are routing this turn regardless. So this is the slight predicament we find ourselves in. The units that are fantastic at gold generation are also the ones that are liable to take a lot of damage because I'm throwing them into combat. So that I'll take gold because it's nice. Can I get away with... Yeah, I heal 8 to 9, so yes, I'm going to be greedy and actually take the gold. The Wolf Riders need to heal us, that's atrocious. Your max HP. And then here, I'll forfeit, yeah, just for 1. It's only, if it was more, +5 or +10, I'd take the gold, but the extra shots here would actually be very nice, so I get maximum short bow damage output. That is so long now, it's actually probably better just to do it like that for positional purposes. Otherwise, that's fine. Bandit gang. We'll have light. There will be a bunch of cavalry which to be rather concerned with. This is good for the spider as I can walk through and use the terrain. I think what I'll do is I'll put on the goblin mobs further in the corner, as it means I may be able to lure something towards them and then flank it with a modicum of luck. Yeah, if we're lucky, the knights will come stamping forward and I can hit them in the side. They have light cavalry here and then no real shooting of any kind, so not too worrying. In that case, I'm just going to do the sensible thing, and it would be start shooting that. I can't reach them yet, so let's pick a unit, any unit, force them to start moving. Did exactly what we wanted. Don't go too far forward, as it means those spearmen might reach us, which is annoying. There we go. I'm still a bit worried about how far forward they can go. If I came further this way, they could very easily reach me there. Tell you what, let's do this instead. All I have to do is wait for the spearmen to move. Now I'm safe. There's absolutely nothing they can do to stop me. Or in fact, to be extra greedy, what I could do is potentially, I'll leave this unit here to flank them. If I can get them to charge me, I might flee and escape. This one concerns me. I'll probably have to flank that. I can't reach it with short bows to do damage, so I just need to shoot one of these. The armoured thugs, the Foot Knights here, are defense 5, which means they get a 2-up save. So in the same way that when power is 3 or more greater than enemy defense, they get they can only save on 6+. If defense is 3 or more greater than power, they get to save on a 2+, or only the result of a 1 hurts. So it's more effective for us to shoot into the defense 4 unit. Then you get a 3-up save, but it's still going to take a while apparently. Here comes their cavalry, and they've positioned in such a way that just basically forces me to flank them. I morally have no choice but to declare that flank charge immediately. Force my hand. What I'll do, I'm going to flee this goblin mob away. Whenever you flee a unit, the enemy trying to charge will attempt to complete its charge and move forward, which will give us the rear charge next turn. Which is nice. It's obviously better than a flank. It also allows me to kind of break the 2 charges up into 2 turns, so I can use Norman's abilities accordingly. So we get out of the way. There you go. They move right up to us. And now they can't activate as they've moved, so I can put my goblin mob here directly behind them and take the rear charge. I rally. Brave little goblin mob. And now here we have a potion of power, +2 power and +1 attack, or +1 power and reroll attack rolls. That will apply to both us and the spider. Which of those is better? The spider is better skill, and we'll go from power 5 to power 6. Actually, from power 6 to power 4 base, 5 on the charge, and then 6 with the Primal Fury, which is good because they're defense 3. It makes us 3 or more higher than them. Norman underneath is only a shaman. He's not really designed for combat, but I mean, he can still hit things. So the extra 2 power would make him power 5, which is irrelevant, as being power 4 or power 5 is no different, whereas Primal Fury is only power 4. But those are the same, and then it's a question of either 1 extra attack or the reroll hits. And between the 2, I think this is definitely the way to go. They're both Primal Furied now. That should be enough to break the light cav. Yeah. Operation Shoot and Scoot will just carry on as normal. Kind of annoying because of the terrain. I can't shoot them this turn, sadly. Unless I moved and then try to move away. 6.3 to get there. And we move backwards. It's kind of lying about how much. If it costs me 2 and then 2, if I had 4 left... No, the terrain is slowing me down too much. It's too much of a risk. I'm just going to move to safety and get out of the stupid woods this turn. This is the effect of the woods halving my movement. It severely cuts into how far I can get. And they're just going to stand here and draw attention. Here we go. Your first turn at combat. Get him, Norman. 2 hits. 2 wounds. There you go. Beats a light cavalry to death on his own. The spider, which is probably a bit more impressive. You know, just munches another 1.5 horses. We take a wound back, which doesn't really matter. And they're gone. See that the wound is displayed by encroaching red on your kind of model's base. Okay. Oh, this goblin mob's not in the way, so I'll move this first. They may hold, so what I'll do is I'll turn this around just to make sure, and then I can recharge them to help if need be. All of these are now moved, so I'm free to just position. Yeah, we're in short range. take a while, apparently. And here, I don't want to fight either of these head-on, so what I'll do is I'll get you out of the way. Now, fortunately, because we're moving so fast, because the spider has scout, ignore movement penalties from difficult terrain, so we can glide through the tree line. Well, Primal Fury are little wolf riders to give them a bit of a hand. Here, just step back. So the AI isn't smart enough to realise the best move would be to move the spearmen right here and get on top of us. They'll inch forward pretty much just enough to touch us each turn, which means you can almost indefinitely delay them by inching away. 5 hits to 7 hits, dealing 3 wounds. Heavy cavalry is pretty tough, but we do break them. Where they go. There's all the enemy fast stuff and all of their range stuff, so just some helpless infantry blocks now. Spearmen are eventually going to roll poorly and get their numbers culled. Foot Knights are staying with us, that's okay. Get someone behind the spearmen to kill them. Shame I have no ranged output with the spider yet. I would spit venom at it or something. There's some sort of species of spider that can projectile venom. Yes, we could front charge the spearmen, but why would you do that? The spearmen are now benefiting from terrain because they've moved into it. I can easily reach their back arc here. And here I could put the goblin mob behind them, but the foot knights are such a tough unit, they would probably hold on and turn around and start killing me. So I think the best move is actually just to completely ignore them. We'll try and charge us, but they have slightly bigger problems. I could flank them with the goblin mob as well, which I think I will do. I mean, the worst I can do is take 2 casualties. It doesn't change the way the unit functions. Web, there you go. A teeny weeny little charge arc because they can't move. I think the way web used to work is that it used to make them completely stationary, but it was slightly bugged where it wasn't really working. Get it? Bug. It's fine. I know spiders are bugs. Just please let me have this. Okay, I need it. Can I get around here? Yeah, might as well start DPSing the foot knights. Not this turn. Apparently, I missed it by a millimeter of an inch. Okay, you did no damage and took 2 wounds. It's literally the worst possible outcome. Thanks, guys. Why did I bother charging you in? Let's just let the Goblin Wolf Riders handle it. With every one of their attacks, they did no damage and took the maximum damage in return. Genius. Only 3. Oh, sorry, I missed the short bows of power 3. Apologies, I miscalculated that last turn. Webbed again. Don't know if they can see me. Nope. Stare into the eyes of the spider. It's very scary, I know. They're outing. Yeah, I knew we can get the enemy morale low enough that we never have to engage the big irritating unit. But I managed to lose those 2 goblin mob I threw away. Fine. These mob have leveled. They can have a massive unit size or even more gold. So whenever I press it, I get 15 gold or strength in numbers. I will do strength in numbers later, but I don't really need the extra strength right now. So I'm happy just to take the extra gold. And then the wolf riders have leveled. They get their own goblin greed. I can't physically turn it down. I haven't the strength. So full HP ones take this. We have another fight before the boss, so we're happy to spam gold again. Wow, okay. And then here, I think these units are strong enough before the boss. So at the end of the next battle, I'll do a bunch of healing to make sure everyone's nice and strong for the boss fight. But for now, we'll just be inconceivably greedy. Yep, 518. In Act 1, that's an amazing amount of gold. Mercenaries. Mercenaries are offering to join your warband in exchange for a cut of your income. With Ratkin sharpshooters, you can take out your enemies from a distance. You aren't goblins. You are not welcome. This is the Goblin Supremacist run. All orcs. Okay, we're spending 518 gold purely on upgrades rather than units, which is fine because I bought 2 in the last one. So plate barding for the spider is no-brainer. Going up to defense. What, 6 is it now? Yep. Defense 6 is amazing because having defense 3 or more than whatever's hitting you, you get to save on a 2+. So all of this power 3 stuff. So a lot of shooting, a lot of infantry attacks are all going to be bouncing off of the thick spider carapace. And then banners of swiftness are excellent. So you get some speed, you can get into the back of things. Everyone gets banners of swiftness. Curse standards are the ones that let you get extra attacks. So if I see them there, unit has +1 attacks for that round. So they're great. I'll take those. Short bows for the wolf riders is nice. More ranged output. Up here, the magic items are pretty terrible. Being effective in combat is not what Norman is for. He does magic stuff. And Shroud is basically one of the worst spells in the game, so I don't want that. Instead, I'll take upgrades for the short bows are also pretty silly because we're not going to use them in combat that much. So having, curse that, they can attack more or combat score, but I'm just going to move around and shoot stuff, and the AI is never really going to be able to catch me, so that's pointless. I'll take the Banner of Mist on the Goblin mobs. It just makes them hard to hit. 243. Fine, I'll take the upgrades on the Shaman just to get them out of the way so I have better stuff later. I press all of the buttons there. So Shroud, I can give units cover saves if that's helpful. +2 skill in case I do have to fight things, and re-rolling his own failed damage save. So if I get hurt, I'm given another chance to save myself. The Banner of Mist I missed there, that's good. And then the only things left are banners I don't want on the short bows, and then War Banners, +1 combat score is nice, but it's very expensive for what it offers. I'd rather, if you just take a damage upgrade, doing 1 extra wound is the equivalent of that, and you want to do damage to kill stuff anyway, so that's just better. And then reroll discipline tests. We don't intend to lose combat, so we don't need that either. We'll save the last 68 gold. They're all bannered up. Curse standard. So the scamps are the one with the curse standard. These ones, they've missed, so they're better at sustaining fire. And we have the most skillful Goblin Shaman walking the earth. That's also hyper resilient. We can give cover saves. Why not? No Banner of Fury or curse standard on the Wolf Riders, which is a shame because it seriously increases their potential damage output, but we'll make do. Against a mining crew. It's like poetry, it rhymes. Okay, so mining crew is pretty easy. It's just some archers at the back and then some other stuff pestering us. The spider healed its wound for free. Single entity monsters heal 1 wound for free at the end of every combat, so if you only take 1, you've effectively made it out the battle sustaining 0 wounds, so that's why I was rather nonplussed about the 1 wound we took. I'll just have you rushing up the side, sure. A goblin mob standing and shoot down the middle. Okay, we've got miners, and crossbows. Okay, they've got basically what is it, the equivalent of a 1-use grenade to hit us with. So they've hit us now. I can ignore them, just get away. I'll get someone in behind them. They're not going to grenade this because they're slow. The crossbows will walk forward and start shooting. What will they target? Nothing really. I'd rather hit them with my short bows and just win. So what I'll do is I'll just back off with these. Targeting the spider. There's 2 up save now due to plated barding. I take no damage, which is a miracle because all of those 2s. 1 battle earlier, we would have just taken 3 of our 5 wounds. Sorry, 6 wounds. 50% of our HP would have just disappeared. But we're fine. Phew. What I'll do is I'll move to there. What I could have done is use Shroud on myself. And if I did that, though, they would have probably moved out of the way at 6 and 2 3s. I'm going to charge this anyway, so I don't need any of these abilities for now. Oh, actually, Shroud is quite special. Target unit has cover until its next combat. So what I'll do, I'll Shroud the crossbow so they're constantly benefiting from cover saves in case anyone does try to shoot them. And then here, they've already thrown their grenade, so I can be kind of more aggressive with them. I'm going to run straight by with the hope they don't turn around and aggro onto me. That will allow me to start hitting them. And then here, let's get rid of this. Eventually get rid of the short. They're tougher than we are, but we outnumber them. Amazingly, we have equal skill. You'd think dwarves would be slightly more competent. Good, they haven't turned around. But it's more important that we take this shot first as we reduce their shots from 8 down to, there you go, 5. Now they move. Now the AI is doing a silly thing here. It's locked on to the original unit it's shot at. So they're going to keep trying to attack the spider. But because we're locked in combat, they can't legally do any shooting. So they just sit there foolishly. Again, the best choice mathematically is Primal Fury. And we'll have you come around and hit this unit in the back. Oh, I have my own little short bows. I forgot about that. They get 1 shot each. Nowhere near comparable to the short bow unit, but a bit of extra damage is never to be scoffed at. Skill 5. Still don't hit very hard, but we do defeat a miner. 3 is re-rolling. All 5 hits. And then we have poison. So any 6s the enemy roll when attempting to save things like that, they're forced to roll the 6 again. So yeah, being high power and then means the enemy have really low saves anyway, 5 or 6. And then poison means they're then forced to re-roll the few successes they get. So very consistent damage output. They did no damage back, so they just lose. I could charge again. I would rather save that because I want to use Primal Fury over here. I could charge in and not use Primal Fury, but then it's rather likely that they turn around and hit me. So I'm going to leave it, except a few shots from a crossbow, which they don't even shoot because the AI is just... I have no excuse for the AI now, it's just bugged. They could have easily shot me there and just chose not to. They rally. Okay, we can charge them again in a second. Here we'll wait to see if they rally themselves. Primal Fury, the Wolf Riders. Yeah, put themselves in the back. Pause but re-rolling. 10 hits, pretty good. And then all the way up to power 5 with Primal Fury means we've got them. Doing this means I now can't see them to charge again, but okay, I'll get out of the way. May as well move forward and take a short range shot. They're still alive, wow. This little Dwarven miner unit's rallied, so I think I actually generate more attacks from this unit now. As I have Curse Standard, I could show off what Curse Standard does. Here, I'll use the Potion of Power. So sadly, it doesn't affect the spider, that's only the little shaman on top. So not a huge damage increase, given that doesn't really do a lot of damage. Can't reach that one last Dwarven crossbow to shoot it. We'll hit every time, and then we do 3 wounds. That's pretty impressive for a shaman. Haven't quite given up yet. So I think we can convince them to do so. I could charge that crossbow to kill him that way. I think I would rather do this. Kill him in melee. And then just shoot him in a moment. Tried to shoot my short bows and failed. Valiant attempt. Here's your reward. Thunk, 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 thunk. Die 6 times over. Over here we have Curse Standard plus 1 attack. So that means the front rank has gone from 1 attack each to 2 attacks each. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And then another 4, so 16 attacks. I have no extra help to give. No, I shrouded the Wolf Riders for whatever reason. We'll just skip the rest. The enemy aren't going to be able to stand up to this. Average hit roll. Average damage roll. Yep. Half and half precisely. Already given up now. Munch, munch, munch. Feed the spider. It just... Oh, I didn't... It just clocked in my mind that I've got Norman Osborn on top of a spider. I see, okay. That wasn't intentional, but there you are. Norman Osborn's levied. He can have Greater Shroud, so everyone in our army gets the benefit of cover. Or Recruiter 2, so when I buy new units, they instantly get levels or discipline. That's terrible. So one of these two. Do I like Greater Shroud? We all just get cover saves. Or, honestly, with Goblins, they so benefit from Recruiter that I'm going to take this. I only need to Shroud specific units. It's a nice upgrade, but not super useful. The Spider levels again. An extra wound, skill, or replenishment. I'll take the skill. Highly skilled spider. The mob takes even more gold or can actually start being combat viable. I'm going to start with upgrades now because the fights will be getting more difficult. And then well, you have no combat upgrades to speak of, so Goblin Greed. It's also the one unit I would love Goblin Greed on, as it's usually full strength. So here, I think I will go full strength. Yeah, we'll just do this. Get everyone nice and healthy. I forgot one. There you go. Because we are about to go into the Act 1 boss. All stretched out nicely. Yeah, it's a good amount of damage output. Okay. Marius the Undying. Okay, we're facing undead. Let's do like that. I guess you could be in the cover because I don't care about how fast they move. Right, we have one annoying fast unit and then some piddly little ones that are less worrying. I'd love to have shot them with the short bows, but I can't reach. What I could potentially do is web them when they try and get closer. So just have this goblin mob stand here for a bit. Yeah, it's cleverly moving all the irrelevant units first. I need to see where the knights move and where the direwolves move. They're going to come rushing forward super quick. I can't really avoid them, I'll be honest. I might be able to beat them in a fight. They've only got 5 wounds, but they will do a nasty amount of damage to my poor little goblin mob, given the opportunity. It's kind of annoying. I could run over there with the... No, I can't. The woods are slowing me down too much. I'm just shooting to something. Which really should be those when they get closer. They're very threatening. Alright, I'll just have to wait here. Just kind of get away. There we go. Now I can shoot them. Do you think I could flank them there? Maybe. It's going to be quite tight, but it's worth a try. I have a 3-up save. It will take 10 more turns of that. Here they come. I can move around here. I think I can flank them, yes. The downside is that this will work, but then later on I immediately get hit in the side by this annoying unit. Okay, they've got to there. I could probably get around one of them. No, the spider's not quick enough. I guess I could do that and then net them so they're so slow I could kind of slip by. What if I did this? What if I angled this way and then twisted? Oh, that works. Just barely. Yeah, and then I can see them. I can flank that unit. Good. We'll take that. Shroud or net or... I don't need any of... Uh-oh. Oh, they've reached that goblin mob. They're that fast. Okay, I'll just let them charge me. I can't stop it. Otherwise, yeah. I can't net the unit that matters. Slowing this unit down is of no relevance. I'll have to let that happen. If I flee, I'm probably off the board, which isn't a good idea, so we'll just stand there. Need to be slightly further back. Being charged, I think I can just... Yeah, I have a curse stand that I can activate to really kill them, so I think I'm okay. I can't flank... Okay, so what we're falling foul here is that you have to be able to draw a straight line from the center of your unit to the center of the face you're charging. So obviously we're majority in the flank here, but this impassable bit of terrain, it's not well defined, but exceeds the line there, so I can't charge. I didn't want to anyway, so that's okay. I wanted to use Primal Fury over here and not here. Skeletons, I'll use this now. Let's try and cut through all 5 walls before they stop me. And then over here, what do I need to kill 5 walls? Probably none of these, actually. I should save them for other combats. They have no shooting, so Shroud is irrelevant. So yeah, I'm just going to... I could use Primal Fury here. Actually, that's a good idea. Let's Primal Fury these to guarantee I get through them in one turn and don't get trapped. Interesting, they're after me, but they can't quite reach, so I'm safe. Good. Start getting this Goblin mob back into the game. That can't see me there, which is good. And they wait to the very end to move the most annoying unit. Of course you do. Well, I guess I can shoot you. Start moving this way with the hope that I can maybe flank them with the Wolf Riders in a second. No, they're after me. Oh, that actually fine. If you want to waste time chasing these around and not catching me, that's also good. I'm much faster than they are as a cavalry unit, so they can't catch us. We'll take some damage here. Yeah, ouch. With all those attacks and re-rolling and more power. Yeah, we killed the unit twice over. Shaman and Spider. Eat one. Should be good enough. They're alive, which is a touch headache, but fine. Out of range of those, which is very good. Probably shoot those just to get rid of them. Extra charges, not this turn. Right. The White Lord unit is the only one of these skeleton bricks that are actually kind of worrying, so I'm not going to fight those. It'd probably be best to put... I could put the Goblin mob and my Shaman into the side here and just surround and kill it. Just pass a bit. Doesn't matter. Right. Let's stay away from you. Or they inch. I'm intimidating. Can't go up that way. I'm not that fast, so I'll do this turn. Get around them later. No spells needed. They'll take forever to get into relevancy, so ignore those. I'll move these around this way to help with that. Here we go. They've at last given me the flank. I get a short range shot somehow. Looks like long range, but okay. Oh, that's more like it. There you go. We're through an entire rank now. Now I feel very happy about being able to kill them. I'm going to start trying to get out of these annoying woods, as they're going to be a problem later on. Just double check to make sure. Okay, so if those wolves rally, they'll be able to see me if I move like that. So what we should do, you can basically what I'm doing is I'm following that line. If you look at a unit or any given unit, the line in essence follows where their charge arc is. So if I do that, they'll see there, so they won't be able to see me if I'm here. So we're okay. Yes, we're good there. Just a bit more might not be safe. They do rally, so it's a good thing I did. And I'll move you to flank this unit now. If I'm very lucky, I might be able to shoot that without being caught. Yes. We'll pick them off without having to go... Excellent. We don't have to waste another unit going into combat with it. Smash into the skeleton knights. Charging us, but we can easily intercept. I hope those skeleton warriors don't come towards me. Interesting that they're not bothering. Let's just kite around. Yes, they completely flubbed it. Good work. Okay, in that case, I'll just march this forward. Start shooting at something. Should I take a short range shot at that while I'm here, or just completely ignore it and kill something I intend to actually kill, like this? Short range. Yep, 3 more turns we're done. Alright, here we will eventually pull off the flank plan. By eventually, I mean like quite literally this turn. Careful, don't forget to Primal Fury. The extra power is good because they're so high defense, and the reroll hits is good because we have equal skill. They'll take forever plus a day to get anywhere useful, so ignore those. It's going to have to be I can't get to the back, sadly. Well, I might be able to wait a turn. If they turn around to face me, I can fairly easily get to there. So, but I'd rather start killing them quickly, as these are going to get closer and closer as time passes. 9 hits is actually 12, and then I get 4s. Good, there's only 2 left. I lose 1. And then when undead lose combats, they don't run, rather. They just take 1 to 3 extra wounds, so I just get stuck there. But we can deal with a single skeleton knight in short order. This is the hassle with these. You can never rely on the enemy skeletons or undead units running away, even if you completely overwhelm them. So you get trapped in place a lot. More than happy to... Oh, an extra quarter and an extra bit. An overachieving unit of short bows. Magic, I can't assist over there, so I'll just have to use this now. Potion of power to speed up a bit. Can we do 2 wounds? Yes, we can. And I don't even lose an extra one. Just half a Wolf Rider. Right, how long is this going to take? Take no damage. I'll have a 2-up save there. This mob, however, is likely going to start taking chip damage as time passes. Or not. Just pass every save. They would get 4 attacks. They're now down to 2. If I did 1 more wound, I'd only get 1. So yeah, we can kill them next turn. That was a lot more efficient than I thought it was going to be. No charges, I don't need to. They've now changed target to this, which is very worrying. I don't want them hitting my poor short bows. Try and get them to re-aggro back to me. Let's stall by doing this. You can activate a unit you have no intention of actually using. Can I slip away this way? No, not quite. Just shy. This direction, no. I have to go straight forward. And even then, it's kind of... I don't think I can get away. I think I'll have to end up fleeing this turn in order to escape. This is a headache. I can move to there and then shoot them. And then I'll have to run away from one of these units when it charges me. They've just perfectly positioned here to stop me. Unless I ignored this unit, moved around, flanked them with the Wolf Riders to stick them in place, and then I could move into their blue zone and be safe. That basically sacrifices the Wolf Riders, as I'm going to take a whole load of damage turn after turn. That's really bad. I can't go that way. I'm just not fast enough. A banner of swiftness that I could have purchased here would have put us over. The one extra movement would have got us over the line. Sadly, I can't quite do it. No, there's no way to position here and escape, is there? No. Crying shame. Sorry, you've been trapped by two. For some reason, they locked onto me with 2 units. Well, honestly, it's a lot easier to heal the short bows than it is to heal the Wolf Riders, so I guess I should let them take the hit. That's what I'll do. I'd still love to shoot that unit, so I could do this and still shoot them. Do a whole bunch of damage and then finish them off next turn. And then move forward. So I guess I could just flee and stay away from them that way. You can over a turn or two. No, that use's dead now, which is good. So I'm very lucky. I could just run away from them, and then hopefully they'll re-aggro onto this. And if I can trick them into aggroing onto you, that would be perfect. Maybe in such a way that I don't touch the woods and get myself stuck. And then turn and run away. Worth a try. Another one for the skeleton. I take 1 wound, but we heal that for free. The unit's now gone. We will be charged here, but it's not too much of a hassle. Let's get away from them. Instead of flanking. If you must fight enemy undead units head on, you want 2 units on them. Okay. This is a bit of a headache. I rally, which is crucial because it will allow me to flee again in a moment. Try and get them to turn around and hit me. Now, obviously, they're going to catch and hit us again, but what I can do now is I can put 2 units in contact with them. The Wolf Riders can go in. And one of these can go in. Probably the Spider, just because it takes so little damage. None of those matter here. I can net someone. Oh, that's actually, I can just ignore them now. They've got such short range. No, sadly, that unit will catch them no matter what I do, so that doesn't work. I'll just have to flee again in a moment. Please turn around. Oh, hang on, yeah. Run away. I could charge them in the back, but the unit with the White Lord is the one that's potent enough to scare me, so I'm just going to stay away from them. Let's kill this one the same way we killed the last one. Whee! Again, I'm just going to have to end up fleeing again, aren't I? Oh, I couldn't finish the charge because the fleeing unit had blocked my... Oh, that's really annoying. The flea had placed the short bows in such a spot where I couldn't finish the charge anymore. Okay. At least I can get up there to hit them in the back if they're still holding on. I rally again. Hooray. Tell you what, if you charge this unit, that would be ideal. I'm going to put you right here. I have better unit movement than... You have to have better movement than the enemy or be able to escape their arc with yours. We should be fine there. It depends on who they charge, really. If it's this unit, I have to run away anyway. I can't really get anything done from here. It's kind of awkward. I can slow them down, but they still have charge radius on everything. Just stand there, whatever. What a complete kerfuffle. Skeletons have... Ah, there you go. Skeletons have so little skill that we actually hit them on 3s. So when you have better skill than the enemy, their save is reduced from... Rather, the hit roll is improved to... They're charging the short bows. Again, the one most important unit. Stop charging them. There you go. Because I shortened their radius, they can't reach us now. They are finally locked onto the unit I want them locked onto. Get away from me. I rally. The Wolf Riders will take a hit for this, but so be it. I think I'll just win in a second anyway. May as well slow them down again. Deal with this unit when it's still there. Escape through the terrain. Ouch. Yeah, my poor Wolf Riders take hits. Just 2 left though. You killed my back rank. Oh, I forgot to charge. Well, we were going to win anyway, so don't worry about it. They're also routing this turn, so it's sort of moot. So what happened? I would kill this off, and then I would use this unit and the riders just to shoot it to death. The White Lord is annoying in that he has a high number of attacks with good parent stats. He also regenerates. So if you don't get through all, he's defense 6 and has 3 wounds. So unless you do all 3 wounds in a single turn, he will always just be there at full wounds. They're dead. I take 1 wound, but I have 2 each, so we're fine. And the enemy have given up. Okay, degenerated into a bit of a mess at the end there, but otherwise I think we can be happy. Yeah, those Wolf Riders took a bit of a kicking. I think I get 1 back for free, yeah, so that's good enough. Okay, full HP ones obviously just take gold as a no-brainer. 13 of 15 is good enough, that's gold. And then the Wolf Riders, I could give them more, that's just for extra wounds at the back. But really, to be effective, they should be trying to flank things, so I'll just be a goblin about it, take more gold. There you go. How much did we get? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, so 90, 94, 98, 100, 101 off of just the extra gold. And then the battle, we get a boss bonus is the only reason I got more gold off of the fight than I did off of hitting the buttons. In terms of gold generation, the Goblins are probably by a comfortable one of the best factions in the game. Right, I think we can end there. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If SOVL looks like it's of interest to you, it's sort of free to play on Steam, at least for the first 5 factions, including the Orks and Goblins, so you can give this a test run and have a go yourself. If you have any notes for other things you'd like to see in SOVL, please do let me know. I have all the characters, so the first 5 factions are free, but then the ones past that are paid DLC. So if you'd like to see what they play like or their unique mechanics, let me know. Or if you just want to chat with me and Lance in the comment section, that's great too. Thank you very much for all your support. I do really appreciate it. I'll see you next time.